Namaha, namaste. Welcome to your 5 minutes of self-care. Today, I'd like to speak to you about spiritual bypassing. So we covered a couple of topics, and the reason being why I include philosophy or theory in your self-care practice is to understand why you're doing what you're doing. I can show you more movement practices, meditation practices, which we will go further into detail. But it's just understand, why do you show up for yourself every single day? Now, spiritual bypassing is my favorite topic. As some maybe know, I was a yoga therapist and I had a yoga studio. I was an international yoga teacher and did the whole 9 yards, putting myself upside down in bikinis, looking great, trying to do any kind of inversions I could physically do. And I realized very quickly that the entire industry was, again, business, an industry. And my background being business, but then also having a background of an artist as a professional ballet dancer and embracing different facets, I understood very quickly that I could not escape the business world after my first burnout by just stepping back and thinking that I'm going to escape life and the world. It's not going to happen. After the second burnout, I realized, okay, I need to change something about myself. And that's the reason why I got to this journey to become a yoga teacher. And there's so many certifications out there, and you can become certified within 1 month. But this is not enough. Luckily, I had great teachers. I still have great teachers. Maya Movisi at Beloved Yoga in Washington, D.C., in Reston. And also A.G. Mohan, who is with Dr. Ganesh Mohan, who are from the lineage of Krishnamacharya, the founders of modern yoga. And I learned philosophy. I learned the whole concept and the lifestyle of yoga. And this is what I have been incorporating for the past 9 years. So the asana practice, the physical movement practice, is not enough. It's also the way how you think, how you act, interact, the relationships you nurture, and what you find for yourself to be truthful or not, discernment. And why am I explaining you this? Because I did encounter many times crossroads where I found myself also not being aligned within. And this is very important to understand, even if I call my self-care programs aligned within. It takes work and effort to stay aligned and in integrity with oneself. And of course, many times I went off the beaten track, and many times I had to do this to find myself. And many times I did not find alignment to things that I was doing. Spiritual bypassing, this whole notion of, oh yeah, let's be positive, love and light, it is not sustainable. And I remember, especially when it comes to my teachers, Maya Movisi and then also Amanda Ronson from Alchemy Healing, we have to embrace our shadow sides and we have to embrace the dark sides of oneself. Love and light concept doesn't exist. And being constantly positive, or let's say alluding to you have to be positive the whole time, smiley and happy on a constant high, that does not exist. And this is what I mean by spiritual bypassing. Many times I had to stop teaching yoga for a while because I knew I had to heal certain traumas and layers of myself that I haven't had done so far. Hence, I stepped back as a yoga teacher, and I realized that I would not be able to hold space in a safe way, that my energy and my vibration is so high that I'm able to hold space and people feel safe around me. And this is something really important. And I'm telling you this, especially the yoga teachers out there. Be aware that it requires a certain level of own healing within yourself. Of course, you can heal yourself while you're teaching. I totally agree with you. And it is a healing journey. But who are we to say what is right or wrong? Who are we to say what is best for another person? And the space of teaching any holistic practice, if this can be yoga, if this is pranayama, meditation, kung fu, whatever that is, it requires a certain responsibility and accountability to be able to hold space for people in a safe way, without your own agenda, without your own intention, without your own righteous behavior or righteousness, thinking you know that you're right. And I experienced that when I was a very junior teacher. And now that's like not now, 19 years ago. I remember the arrogance I had around myself, and also the righteousness and believing that I would be superior than others because I went through a level of healing already myself. That is utter nonsense. I'll be very honest. And that's why it's always good to ground yourself, to come back to reality and come from a loving, open, kind, compassionate heart. Knowing that everyone is in their journey at that stage in time where they have to be, and that's okay. And that even if we see things happening and circumstances happening, it is not our right nor our business to interfere. Something very important, because everyone has their own journey and everyone needs to honor their own journey. And the spiritual bypassing, what I mean by that is walk your talk first. Work on yourself so hard, with so much discipline, showing up for yourself every single day before you go out there and lecture people. What I'm just doing is like, I'm sharing with you what I do, and this is what I do. Sometimes I fall off the wagon. Of course, I'm human. But sometimes I get back on that wagon again. Not sometimes, actually all the time. But what I mean by that is that what is perfection? Perfection is just an illusion of thinking that there is a certain norm of how to be, and that is utter nonsense. And I'm trying to clean up my language, that I'm not starting to swear in front of you. So this is what I mean by that, spiritual bypassing. All of your yoga teachers and holistic practitioners who embrace alternative therapies, just be aware of that. Walk your talk first. Actions speak louder than words. It's so easy to get swayed away and believe you're on top of the mountain and you're top of everything, but you're not. We're all the same. There's oneness, there's creation, there's divinity, there's source within ourselves, and it's about us just guiding and empowering people with tools. And I can see that a lot in the yachting industry. There are many yoga teachers out there. It's not only about the asana. Sit down and become quiet. Dhyana, dharana. So turning your senses in, focus, concentration, meditation, where the nectar of all that exists and the essence of life can be found.